Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have not been on here in a long time. It's been about a month. I took a very unintentional and unexpected break from YouTube. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't even want to film this video right now. I do want to get back to posting on YouTube about the content that I want to post on YouTube. However, I feel like I can't necessarily do that unless I talk about what has happened in my life and what's been going on. I feel like I owe it to you guys as an explanation as to why I've been gone for so long. And yeah, if you're not following me on Instagram, you probably don't know what happened. So this video is just kind of an explanation as to what happened, what I've been going through. At the end of April, I did have a video that was supposed to go up on April 25th. This video was an interesting video because it was literally around the topic of what happened before it happened, if that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. Let me explain. So I'm gonna start from the very beginning. I went to go get my cats from my mom's house in March, came back in April to Florida. My mom was here for a little bit, so I didn't do much YouTube stuff or anything like that. I was caught up on everything, you know, I was still posting. And then my mom goes on a cruise, and I don't even know how I want to go about this video because I don't even want to say what happened, honestly, but I'm just gonna explain what happened. One night I was sitting down and eating dinner, and I had this gut feeling that somebody was going to call me and tell me that somebody passed away in my family. And I kind of brushed it off because I was like, no, that's not gonna happen, you know. And I do get these psychic hits sometimes of just these feelings or something outside of me telling me something, and I'm kind of afraid of it, if I'm gonna be honest. I know that it's just warning me, and this is not the first time it's happened. However, sometimes it's hard to distinguish whether it's intuition or just my own paranoia. So I was kind of brushing it off that I was paranoid, especially because I didn't want to believe it. And also my brother's face popped into my brain when I had that intuitive feeling. And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And the reason why I thought that I was thinking that way is because back in November, I sat with a plant medicine called Ayahuasca. This is something that I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about on my channel. I've talked about all of my other ayahuasca experiences, but I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about my last one because it was just really personal and I didn't want to scare anybody away from ayahuasca. So pretty much what happened is ayahuasca told me that my brother was going to pass away soon. And what's interesting about this is I actually did make a YouTube video about it, and it was supposed to go up on April 25th. April 25th is the day that my brother actually passed away. And it's different when I say it out loud. Anyways, I was supposed to upload that video on April 25th. Keep that in mind. And that's the video about ayahuasca telling me that my brother's gonna pass away. And I honestly thought that it was just my fear or something. Back to the part where I got that intuitive feeling. So I kind of want to share with you some of the spiritual sides to this story and what I've learned as a whole, because I don't want to just get on here and say this is what happened, this is what I'm going through. I kind of want to share with you what I've learned from this situation. So that happened, right? I was sitting down eating dinner. This is probably I think it's 5 days before my brother actually passed away. So it was probably April 20th. And when I had that intuitive nudge, it did feel real. It did feel like it was an intuitive, psychic thing, but I didn't want to believe it. And so that night I get a phone call from my grandma. Remind you, my mom is on a cruise in the middle of the ocean. I get a call from my grandma freaking out, telling me that she thinks my mom's cat stopped breathing. My grandma was watching my mom's cats while she was on the cruise, and her cat Piggy did pass away suddenly with no explanation. This cat was really healthy, only 3 years old, and just passed away while my mom was on her cruise. And I had to call and tell her that. It wasn't a fun time. I was really sad for my mom, But at the same time, I was kind of relieved because I was like, oh, okay, that feeling was not about my brother. Everything's okay, you know. I thought that, you know, that feeling was just true in the sense of like someone was going to call and tell me that my mom's cat passed away. However, I think the part about my brother Antonio, I thought that it was just paranoia because of my ayahuasca experience. At the time, I thought that the psychic thing that happened to me was real, but except for the part about my brother. I thought the part about my brother was just me making things up, you know, out of fear, which wasn't the case. Apparently it was true. So April 24th was my brother's birthday. Before that, I did film the video about my ayahuasca experience, about how ayahuasca told me my brother was going to pass away. That video was scheduled to go up on April 25th. I don't know why I scheduled it for April 25th. I don't know. It was just a random date that I scheduled it for. So that video was like pre-filmed before anything even happened. And then April 25th, me and Haruki were supposed to go to the beach that morning to watch the sunrise. And I wake up at like 4 something a.m. and I tell Haruki like, hey, like let's get up. And he says, oh no, like I didn't get much sleep last night. Let's just go another time. I said, okay. So I'm laying in bed, and I'm just about to fall back to sleep. And I get a phone call from my dad. And of course I answer it. It's like 5 a.m. at this point. I'm like half awake, half asleep. And it's my dad's girlfriend that called with his phone. So I'm like, what happened? Because clearly, you know, I thought something had happened to my dad at first because I was like, why is she using his phone? Is everything okay? But then she told me that my little brother passed away. Oh wow, it's May 24th when I'm filming this. I didn't even realize. So like literally a month ago it happened. It doesn't even feel like a month because I still, like it still fucking sucks, honestly. I stopped that video from being uploaded because everything was just too weird for me at that point. I really didn't need any comments regarding the fact, especially like given the fact that like he passed away that day. It would be weird to upload that on that day. So I just stopped it from going up. I don't know if that video will ever see the light of day, honestly. I don't know if I want to post it. Something told me to. Something told me to post it, but now I'm just like, why? I don't know. Like, I just don't have an intention as to why I would want to post that anymore. The reason I wanted to post it before was because to like let people know that, you know, ayahuasca isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and you know, that I did have a negative experience with it, but that I also still appreciate the medicine. And it is really interesting how back in November ayahuasca did tell me that this was going to happen. I will be honest, I think that did prepare me a little bit, and you can never really be prepared, but I think had ayahuasca not told me, I would be a wreck. I mean, I was a wreck, but I would be far worse than I was. Honestly, I kind of fell into a depression, to be honest, around that time because I'm trying not to cry because I just miss him. Oh fuck. So I went up to New York and I didn't know how long I'd be there for. Nothing felt real. I felt like I was disassociating a lot. I felt like I was still in an ayahuasca ceremony, like I couldn't tell the difference between if I was in reality or not because it happened in my ayahuasca ceremony. So yeah, and what's weird about it is he passed away from the exact thing that ayahuasca told me he was gonna pass away from, which was a seizure. And it was around the same time frame like 3 to 5 a.m. and I was going through that ayahuasca ceremony that he actually passed away. So yeah, I had to pack my things and go to New York. Haruki stayed here because I had just brought my cats down and I really wasn't trying to bring them to New York again. And it also was such an expensive flight last minute. And we couldn't, I mean, I guess we could afford it, but I really, we weren't willing to pay the money to have the cats go up because it costs money to bring the cats up there and then for Haruki to get up there and our trip back. So I just went by myself. And also Zara has diabetes. It's not like we could just leave our cats with just anybody because she needs insulin shots. So yeah, so I went up to New York. When I was packing, I didn't even know what I was packing. I didn't even pack properly because I was just, I couldn't focus. I didn't know what was going on. And so I packed my stuff, went to New York, one-way ticket, didn't know how long I'd be there for. I will be honest, I thought I'd be there for like a week or two max, but I was there for 3 weeks, which was a long time. I think that's the longest amount of time that I had not done any work. It's the longest amount of time that I hadn't done a YouTube video. Like, I've been doing YouTube for like 7 years now, and I had never went a month without posting before, I don't think. So it was really difficult for me in that sense too, because I feel like everybody else around me was like able to go back to work within a week because their jobs require different things from them. But for me, my job requires my personality. It requires me helping people. It requires me to be on camera. It requires me to coach people because I do coaching. It requires me, yeah, to be okay pretty much, and I wasn't. And I had to take some time off because I'm the type of person that when something goes wrong or something happens, I need to be alone, kind of. Like, there were people around me that was there for me and stuff, but like I really just wanted to be alone. That's how I process things. That's how I'm able to allow my emotions to come out, because when I'm around people it distracts me, and distractions are nice, yes, sometimes, but at the same time I felt like I just needed to feel what was happening and grieve, honestly. And I'm happy that I did take the time to do that. And honestly, it was like forced from the universe, because there's no way in hell I would have been able to even get on camera and talk about it or talk about anything. Like, even right now, I feel like the only reason why I'm really making this video is because I want to tell you guys where I've been. I love you guys and I feel like I owe that to you. And also, I don't want to just come on here all happy and jolly when some real shit just happened, and I can't really come back without addressing this. And honestly, for myself too, I do feel like it helps to talk about on camera. I mean, I did post about it on Instagram, and I'm really, really grateful for all of you, because I did do a GoFundMe for my dad and my mom for the funeral costs, and you guys really came through, and I really, really appreciate that. The GoFundMe is still up. My mom still owes money to the funeral home, so if anybody would like to donate to that, it would be really, really appreciated. You know, this was a very unexpected loss for my family, and my family was not financially prepared for this, like, at all. I think like a couple things that I want to share about this is like, and just what I've learned overall is like, you really don't know what someone is going through. Also, I received like a ton of hate comments online recently. That's kind of why I'm saying this, because it doesn't bother me, but at the same time I'm just like thinking to myself, like, if these people knew what was going on in my life, would they be leaving these comments? You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. They're just really stupid hate comments, honestly. It's nothing that I'm upset over, to be honest. I have way worse things to be upset over. But I think it's just a message that I want to share because I can handle it, but some people might not be able to handle stuff like that. So, like, you know, just be kind to everybody, and if you can't be kind, just don't say anything because you really don't know what someone's going through. Like, you know what I mean? I did get in a fight with one of my family members over some stuff that happened with this situation, and I feel awful about it. I'm sure that they feel awful about it too. I think our emotions were just really heightened in situations like this, and just in general, we can't expect people to act the way that we would act in a situation because we're not them, right? And they're not us. We all have different life experiences, and just because someone else would do something doesn't mean the other person would. For instance, I'll just be honest, my dad was really upset with me for not coming home like the next day, pretty much. I went a couple days later for me to process and get my shit together and, you know, stuff like that. There really was no way that I could even get back. Like, the ticket was like $1,000. Sorry, I had to make space on my memory card. But yeah, the ticket was like $1,000. I could barely even think to look at flights. I couldn't make a decision about a flight right then and there. There were so many things that was going through my brain. I was just like emotionally like not okay, clearly. So it was like there was no way I was gonna put myself in an airport with that much anxiety and like sadness, because I just could not stop crying. Like, I was crying for days, just laying in bed crying. I wasn't getting up. I was barely eating. I wasn't okay. And my dad was like upset at me for not coming sooner. So that was one of the things that we fought over, and it led into like some awful things that like I regret even saying. And we were just like really mean to each other, honestly. I mean, me and my dad have a good relationship, but like we kind of took out our own shit on each other. And I feel really bad for that, but it made me realize that like we can't expect other people to act the same way that we would in a situation, and also you really don't know how you would act unless you're in that specific situation or unless you're them. So it's just not okay to judge people for that, because like I said, there was absolutely no way that I could, like, he didn't know what I was going through and I didn't know what he was going through. You know, he was going through a whole bunch of stuff at the house. You know, he witnessed it. He had to walk into my brother not there anymore, you know. So I just felt really bad for everything. But I don't even know where I'm going with this video, because and again, like I said, I don't even really want to be making this right now because it's not something that I want to talk about really. I kind of just want to move on with my life because I've already processed a lot and I've already grieved a lot. I mean, I'm still grieving. I still cry sometimes, you know, I still cry here and there, but it's not like every day like how it was. I do think a huge part of that is like being distracted and stuff, which honestly, like, I just need to get back to normal life. Like, I just got home like probably less than a week ago. Actually, yeah, like I got home 4 days ago, and I just want to get back to filming and doing what I love, honestly. I've been dancing more and healing my inner child, to be honest. But yeah, it just sucks because like one of the things that I've also learned is, you know, something that I went through is that last year I was at my dad's house on and off in between traveling. So me and Haruki were staying there for a little bit, going and traveling, and you know, because we put all our stuff in a storage unit and we didn't have an apartment anymore, so we were just traveling and staying at my dad's house in between. And I did spend time with my brother, but I feel like I didn't spend enough time with him. given the fact that ayahuasca did tell me this was going to happen, and I just didn't want to believe it, but it's really stupid for me to not believe it because, I mean, I don't know, like, maybe it's not stupid, but it just makes me mad that I knew and I still didn't spend as much time with him as I should have. And I questioned why, and I was like, why didn't I spend time with him? And I just start crying, and it really led to my anxiety getting in the way. And by anxiety, I mean like social anxiety. You know, he has nurses and stuff that are there with him because he did suffer a traumatic brain injury. He's my adopted brother. My parents adopted him when he was 3. But I just felt awful for not spending enough time with him, and the reason why was because I felt anxious going into his room with the nurses there. I know the nurses are amazing people and stuff, but for some reason I just had this fear of judgment from them. I don't know why. And that held me back from spending time with my brother. It was my own shit, my own anxiety. And I just lost it when I realized that, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, my anxiety got in the way of me spending time with my brother when he was here. And I can't go back and fix that now. And it made me realize, like, what else? What else is there that my anxiety has gotten in the way of? And honestly, there's a lot. There's a lot of shit. My anxiety's gotten better, yeah, but it's still there, you know, it's not totally gone yet. And I kind of got to a point where I said, okay, I'm gonna do things that clearly give me anxiety, and I'm just gonna do them because I don't want my anxiety to hold me back from doing the things that I want in life. So there's this dance class, and my favorite choreographer is going to be choreographing this dance class, and he's coming to my area. And I've wanted to take his classes since I was very, very young. I would always ask my mom to bring me out to LA so that I could go to these dance classes, and she never did, of course, but I really wanted to learn in a class with him, and this was like the perfect opportunity. And I realized there's probably going to be a lot of people there, and I don't know anybody, and that scares me. And so I booked the class. I booked the class. I'm scared to go, but I love dancing, and I don't want my anxiety to get in the way of me being able to express myself and heal my inner child and just live my life, you know? It got in the way of me not being able to spend enough time with my brother, you know? So yeah, that's just like some stuff I've been working on and healing as I'm on this journey of grief. But yeah, after my brother passed, I had this dream, and I don't know if anyone would be interested in like maybe interpreting this dream, because I don't exactly know what it means, but I think I have a good idea that I know what it means. Pretty much the dream consisted of Mochi. Hold on, I need to let my cat out of the room. Oh. So pretty much the dream consisted of my brother dying and coming back to life, and he kept dying and coming back to life. And I was like freaking out in the dream, like, oh my god, what's happening? And that's kind of what I saw on ayahuasca. It was different on ayahuasca, but that is kind of what was happening on ayahuasca, was that he was coming back to life, kind of dying, coming back to life, dying. And yeah, so I kind of feel like it's just my brain not being able to process it, or like trying to fight the fact that it actually happened, or trying to like make sense of it. I don't know. So if anyone has any like interpretation of what that could be, feel free to leave it in the comments. But yeah, it was interesting because throughout the last 3 ayahuasca ceremonies I had, there was like a theme around death, and one of the main takeaways and lessons that I learned was that death should be a celebration of life. And yes, it's sad, and yes, it sucks, but our spirit lives on. Our soul is eternal. I think that's one of the things that's really helped me with this, especially my second ayahuasca ceremony. The last time, well, it was technically my fifth ayahuasca ceremony. I met God, and I didn't believe in God before that. And had I not met God, I would be fucked right now. Honestly, I would be really fucked. I feel like I've gotten closer to God lately, and it was weird because I met God the night before ayahuasca told me my brother was gonna pass away. And it was like honestly a really traumatizing experience for the ayahuasca ceremony. I kind of do want to post it, just because there was like a lot of lessons that I learned from it, and I don't really feel like talking about it in this video, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'll post it, I don't know. I have to like refilm and edit now, kind of. I mean, maybe I'll just keep that same video and then just film something before it, like letting y'all know. Just kind of like going day by day, you know, some days are worse than others, some days are better than others. I will say I'm doing okay for the most part now. Like I said, I think that's just because I'm back in Florida. I'm able to get back in routine. I'm able to create content and do what I love. So expect a lot more content on my YouTube channel. I really want to start posting a lot more. Thank you for all of you who sent me so much love on Instagram. I really appreciate all of you. I wasn't able to get to all of your messages, but just know that I see you, and I saw your messages, and it really meant a lot to me. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Yeah. I want to show you guys, this was actually a sloth that I got from Costa Rica, and I gave it to my little brother when I got back, and it's like a little magnetic thing, and it was like around his bed because he has a hospital, well, he had a hospital bed, so this was like around the bed, like on the side, so that he could see it. And now I sleep with it every night. So this was the shirt that I bought him when I was in Japan. It's like a little Tokyo Disney shirt. Still has the tag on it. He never wore it. I was really hoping that he could come to Florida at some point and go to Disney World again. He loved Disney, he loved the parades, he loved the lights, and yeah, I got that for him because I thought that he would come to Disney again and he could wear that, and he loved bright colors, so I got that. I got that shirt for him. I just pray that in the next life Antonio gets to run, play, jump, skip, dance, do all of the physical things that he wasn't able to do on Earth this time. I hope he gets to talk. I hope he gets to yell. I hope he gets to sing. He didn't deserve what he went through. It just like breaks my heart thinking about the freaking trauma he went through in his life. never seen someone go through as much trauma that he went through. And for I don't know what reason, but it just breaks my heart that he wasn't able to do all of the things that we can do. And I feel like a lot of people take for granted that they can walk, that they can talk, that they can communicate with people, that they can sing and dance. And you know, some people don't even sing and dance anymore. Like, I didn't dance for so long, and that's something that I'm blessed to be able to do, and I wasn't doing it. And so I just want to leave this video by saying, if you have a talent, if there's something you love to do in life, if there's an advantage that you have over other people, if you can sing, if you can express yourself in whatever way, if you're able to do those things, then do it, because not everybody gets the chance to. And Antonio was in a bed his whole life, in a wheelchair his whole life. He couldn't talk, he couldn't walk, but he taught us all so much. And even when he was in the hospital, even when he was on life support, even when he wasn't doing the greatest, he still blessed us with his smile and laughing and just his energy was just so beautiful. I'm just gonna miss him so much, and I'm sad that my kids will never get to meet him. He was only 22 years old, and I knew it was gonna happen one day, but I didn't think it was gonna happen so soon. But yeah, I'm gonna get off now because now I'm crying, and I need to not cry anymore, because I mean, like, don't worry guys, I cry when I need to cry, but you know, I still have to live life. It's not like I can just lay in bed and cry the rest of my days, you know. I still have to live life. I still have to do things. Luckily God has given me the strength to. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.